Hi, vacation rental owner or manager. Welcome to this episode where we talk decorating and other high level strategies for you to level up your STR business and make max revenue. Today, we have a special guest. It's Isabel Valdez. She owns a cleaning company called Sunshine Cleaning TP, which stands for Tampa Bay TB. Is
Yes.
so Sunshine Cleaning TB.
Mhm.
She works on a lot of vacation rentals and she is an expert in her space. Isabel, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. So excited to learn from you. Would you share a quick overview of how you got into cleaning vacation rentals?
Well, honestly, it all started back when I worked for a motivational company. And I worked there for about 10 years until the company closed down. I didn't receive my last paycheck. That was both my husband and I's job. I found out I was a week pregnant. After that, I thought I had job security. And once that happened, I realized, hey, I need to start working for myself because I wanted to be in control of my paycheck. I wanted to be in control of when I'm able to work, and I didn't want anyone to control anything, especially when they just left me high and dry.
Mhm.
And I'm just being 100% honest, because I think people should hear this. But I decided that I wanted to venture out and start my own business. And in between that time and starting the cleaning business, I did try so many things. But my mom actually started a cleaning business when I was probably like 10 or 11, and she still had a few accounts. But I actually decided to, venture off with her in the beginning, and we started doing like residential homes. And then I started doing Airbnbs. The first Airbnb I did was before Airbnb was like a thing. This guy came, he approached me and he was like, "Hey, I really would like someone to clean he said a vacation rental, and he said, I have the guests doing the laundry there. So all you have to do is just put the linens on the bed." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's how I started. With the cleaning business, just from, wanting to have my own paycheck, creating, I've always been like an entrepreneur at heart, but I just had to find what was something that I was passionate about. I liked cleaning, and then I realized that it could bring in income. I also had the freedom to be with my kids, and create my own schedule. So I know that's long-winded, but I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that answered it really well. I think that's so interesting how you have your own business and you can run it the way you want. And then vacation rental owners have their own business and run it the way they want. And
Yeah.
so I think that's an interesting parallel. That's really cool how you got into it kind of organically and how it evolved for you. That's
Mhm.
great. That's great. All right. Well, what should vacation rental owners look for when hiring a cleaner?
Okay, well, I definitely think when you are looking for a cleaner, I recommend working with a small business versus a huge like corporation or like a huge company. And the reason for that is I believe that when you are working with a small business owner, they have more time to dedicate to your property. They have more time to look at the little details. Even if they hire, like I have people that work for us, but I am heavily involved in all of the properties. I am constantly checking whether if I can't be there in person, I require photos of the cleans after the clean for me to check. And I work closely, with all of my hosts, property managers, because I think that is really the key. Once the companies start taking more than they can handle, I feel like that's when you start seeing a lack of caring, a lack of details, paying attention to details, and then they're hiring just anyone going in and out of your homes, and that doesn't, I know that it takes paying attention to details, the small little details, in order to make it successful for both the cleaning company and for also the host and their company. Essentially their business, is making sure that they get those 5-star ratings for cleanings.
Mm-hmm. Right. I love how you point out, you said several times the word details.
Mhm.
And I think when people, for some reason, when they go into, a guest goes into a vacation rental, they see details that, I don't notice in my own home. I don't really know if I see any details in a friend's home, but when I go to a vacation rental and when other, guests go to a vacation rental, they notice those details. So
Yeah, for
I love
sure.
that you've honed in on that and you can see that that's super important. That's
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah.
Is what key information should owners give to their cleaners up front? So when a cleaner and an owner they come together for the first time, is there any information you feel that owners should provide to their cleaner to help their cleaner do their best job?
Yes, definitely. So for our company, we actually send out a little questionnaire to each host or property manager that we're onboarding. And in there, we ask for the listing photos because we would like to make sure that your home is staged exactly how your listing is portrayed on whatever site you're using, Airbnb, VRBO. We want to make sure it looks exactly like that. So definitely listing photos. Also, expectations like, do you want the towels on the bed versus the towels in the closet? Do you provide snacks for your guests? Do you provide water for your guests? How many coffee pods do you want out? How many washcloths do you want out? All of these things are super important. And it kind of just goes, we have so like I work with so many different hosts and property managers, and everybody has their own way that they want things, and that is okay. But just make sure you lay that out up front to the cleaner so that they know. Now, what we do is we like, when I'm first starting out with a new property, I am constantly looking over that email, looking over that questionnaire until we memorize, okay, this house, let's say Salty Ear, loves that the pillow or the towels are rolled and on the bed. Like it's very down to the very little detail. It does matter and it makes your home special. So whatever makes your home special, make sure that your cleaner knows that. Also things like the trash days, because if we are there at your property, we would roll your trash can out if it's on a trash day, the trash days the next day, or roll it in or whatever the case may be. Specific things too, like even when the pool company is coming out, because if the pool is dirty, we kind of report those things. Or you can, remember your cleaner are your eyes and ears of your property if you are not in the same state or in the same city. So you can also tell your cleaners like, hey, if the pool does look dirty, can you report it to me as soon as you get there so I can work on getting the pool guy out? Things like that. Or does the grass look a little bit too long? Or too high? Maybe the person that cuts the grass didn't show up. Let the cleaner be your eyes and ears. And I encourage that, as a cleaning company, I like doing that for the host, you remember you're paying a cleaner, right, to be there, but also they can be your eyes on your property. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna go cut their grass themselves, but they can tell you, so you can get the right person out there for you.
Mhm. Yes, I love that. I love that giving your cleaner some autonomy to, go ahead and glance at this and this and just let me know that, like the grass, like you mentioned, or if the pool looks a little dirty, needs to be cleaned. I love that that kind of creates a partnership between the cleaner and the owner.
Yes.
And so it's not like the cleaner is just kind of acting like a robot. It's a kind of a symbiosis. Is that the word where they enhance each other's performance, for
Yes.
the
Yes.
owner and cleaner? They make it all better if the
Mhm.
cleaner can have some good input and, uh, yeah, just contribute to the overall property in that way. I love that is true. Giving the cleaner your your okay to be their eyes and ears and
Mhm.
to tell them that you depend on them for that. That is, I think that's wonderful. And it really makes a partnership, I think. So,
Yeah. And like you said, that is just an expectation that you have to discuss, when you're starting off,
mhm.
and just say it out, say it clear. I think the communication is key when you're starting off with a cleaner. Say, "Hey, I need you to do XYZ." And if that cleaner cannot do that, then that can be discussed up front, so that way there's no issues or problems, and then you know that you need to find another cleaner, or maybe it's not a good fit for the cleaner and she's not okay with working for that host and their expectations. And but just upfront, right when you start onboarding is when you discuss all of those things.
Right. Thank you so much. And what you listed out, I think that's an excellent list for owners to take as an excellent starting point for how they can communicate to their cleaners up front. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
How do you think that vacation rental owners should treat their cleaners to build a long-term and loyal relationship? I think we touched on this a little bit,
Mhm.
but I'd like to hear you speak specifically to how owners should treat their cleaners.
Okay, you kind of said it a little bit earlier that it's definitely a partnership and it should be treated that way. I think the relationship will work better that way if you treat your cleaner like a partner instead of someone that is beneath you, which that has to be said because that is a lot in this industry. I've dealt with so many people and there are hosts, there are property managers that think that a cleaner is beneath them. And that is when you come with that's when conflicts happen. That's when a cleaner feels unappreciative. Um, and it's just, it won't work that way. But if you treat a cleaner as your partner, because essentially they are your partner, without a good cleaner, you will not have a 5-star rating home. Okay. And I think that you know, maybe there's some hosts and property managers that really just don't understand that aspect of it. But really, like I said, the cleaner should be your eyes and ears of your property. If you're not one of those people that can go to your property after every guest, your cleaner is your eyes and ears. So treat them that way. And the same as the cleaner. You need to treat hosts with respect, and treat it like if it was your home. That's how I go into this. I even say that I even use that as my slogan. Like we treat every home like it's our home. And essentially, this is what I say too. I say to when I'm trying to, I guess, close a sale, whatever you want to say. How do you close a deal, right?
Uh-huh.
I always say that. I say I treat your home like it's my home, and I understand. And this is the business aspect of it, is I understand that my business, my work is actually a reflection of your home, of your business. So I understand that. And you want to make sure that your cleaner that you're choosing is understanding that their work, their hard labor that they're doing in your home is a reflection of you and your business. When someone writes an Airbnb review, they're not going to say the cleaner, they're going to say your home was dirty. So I think it's so super important that the cleaner understands that. Um, that this is, it's a reflection of you and your home, their work. And I 100% understand that. And that is why, I mean, like I said, I could probably count maybe on one hand of how many times we have missed something or there has been an issue, because I take this seriously and I make sure that any cleaner that is in there understands that. Like, if you mess this up, if you get less than a 5-star cleaning, like we have failed our mission here. Our goal is to make sure that these hosts are getting 5-star ratings for cleaning no matter what. Like, and if there is an issue, the five, one hand of issues that I've had, I go out there right away and correct my mistake. And I let every host know that if we are not perfect, but we try to be, right? Or we try to be perfect, but in the event that I have missed something, I personally will go out there and correct that and make sure I do damage control and that your guests feel happy when I leave there. So I think that's super important, and you just make sure, again, when you speak with your cleaner, you have that expectation, you set the bar. Like, this is how I need those 5-star cleanings. There's no room for messing up here, you know?
Mhm.
And this is from a cleaning business. Like, I'm telling you, like this, you don't let a cleaner be lazy. Like, if they miss something, fix it. Have them, speak. You could say things in a nice way. You don't have to say, "Hey, you missed this." You can verbally say things nicely, but make sure that you're firm and you get this point across. Like, "Hey, this is really gonna mess up my listing if you don't correct this."
Right.
But definitely a partnership. Partnership.
Yes, treat it as a partnership. Yes, thank you. So many great points that you brought up there. And when I know an owner who has a cleaner like you, just excellent. And she actually considers her cleaner to be the most valuable member of her team. She just thinks she's gold and she treats her like gold. And they do work so well together for this five-star property. And she knows the cleaner's birthday, her kids' names, her
Yeah.
dog's birthday. So I think it's super important to treat your cleaners well, to
Mhm.
recognize that they have a difficult job and
Mhm.
that their business matters a lot to them and
Yeah.
that they do want to do an excellent job. And to your point of saying things in a kind way, I mean, there are always, whenever humans are involved, there are going to be little slips through the cracks once in a while. And for you to say you can count on one hand the times with the dozens or even hundreds by now of properties that you've cleaned, that's really incredible. Are there ways that STR owners can motivate cleaners to go above and beyond, like you mentioned? And it might really come down a lot to those first upfront expectations. But instead of just doing the bare minimum, I know cleaners are really busy, they work really fast, but instead of doing just the bare minimum, do you think there are ways owners can encourage them to go above and beyond the way that you do?
Okay, so my opinion on this might be an unpopular opinion to like the cleaners, but you shouldn't be doing the bare minimum, as a cleaner, go above and beyond. Like, why not go above and beyond for your business? This is your business. Now for owners, I think just pay them what they're worth.
Mm.
That should be the only I don't really believe in incentives or anything like that, because I feel like this is our job. As a cleaner, our job is to make sure that your house is cleaned. And if someone is not doing that, then they're not the right cleaner for you. But once a cleaner gives you a quote, don't unless it's like really unreasonable, don't go back on their quote. Don't I think don't just don't undermine them. This is their business, just like you have your business. And you guys set the fees for how much you want to be rented a night, how much you want to make. You get to decide that. So your cleaner, you have to respect that they are a business owner and they get to decide how much they want to get paid. And if it is not reasonable for you, then you can look for another cleaner respectfully, look for another cleaner that is in your price range. But I think really you feel like when I've done this before where I've quoted based on, there's so many different aspects that goes into that quote. I know owners don't understand that, but it's also your insurance, your supplies, your time. If you're paying someone, that all goes into that quote that you're giving. And when someone undermines and says nope, and they say, "Oh, can I just pay you $20 less?" And $20 less might not be a lot. You might not think it's a lot, but it is a lot for a small business owner. And then the relationship never goes good. You know why? Because the cleaner's feeling unappreciative, and then the owners, maybe they start asking for more, and then it just becomes a bad situation, right? The cleaner's not gonna do their best. It's like, oh, they shorted me $20. I'm just gonna do whatever. I'm just gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and that's it. I'm not gonna be the extra eyes for them. I'm not gonna go above and beyond. So I really think just paying the cleaner what they're worth. And it doesn't mean that you have to go for some huge amount. Like again, if it's not reasonable for you, then you are able to go look for another cleaner that is reasonable for you. But once you start shorting someone of something that they have asked for, I think that's when the relationship goes sour, and the cleaner is not gonna give their best foot forward. Does that
I
make sense? Is
It
that
does.
okay?
Yes, completely. I think those are excellent pieces of advice for both cleaners, where you say you should go above and beyond. So that five-star level of clean should be the standard. It shouldn't be an ideal. It should just be, yeah, that's what you do. You go above and beyond. You make it truly a five-star experience. But also for the owner to realize this cleaner really is worth a lot for my business, and I will pay their business what they ask. And
Right.
usually, from what I've seen, cleaners ask. a really competitive rate. They know the market, they know what they can do in an
Mhm.
hour or two. So I think that cleaners usually are spot on with
Yeah.
the rate that they propose. So I
Mhm.
think that's excellent advice for both. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if an owner is not satisfied with something that a cleaner does with some of their work, what is the best way to talk about their concerns without damaging that working relationship? You mentioned to say it in a nice way. Have you experienced anything along those lines, either the best way to say it to a cleaner or the worst way to say it to a cleaner? I'm curious.
Yes, I mean, so like I said, I deal with so many people, so many different personalities. There are kind people and there are people that are just they don't care, right? They don't care how they come off, right? But I think again, it all starts in the beginning. When you have that relationship, say, hey, this is my expectations, and if it's not this way, then we're gonna have to have a discussion. So for instance, if you do go into the home, you check it after the cleaner and you're seeing things that are not up to par, I would definitely, like, don't be shy about this is your business. The hosts and the property managers, this is your business, and your guests are depending on a clean home. So if there is an issue, you can email, or I prefer voice messages. The it comes out, it sounds nicer when you hear someone's tone versus a message. So I would definitely recommend you to send a voice message, and just for the first time that if, you go in there and this is just for the first time that you've ever seen an issue. Hey, Isabel, I walked into the house and I noticed that the sheets had lots of lint all over them. Is there any way that we can make sure moving forward that this doesn't happen? And actually, can you come by and fix this before the guest arrives? I just don't want to get a bad rating. That's
Mhm,
it.
mhm,
Simple. Keep it really simple. Now, if it's a continuous thing, then it's time for you to find another cleaner. And that you can respectfully let a cleaner go. But really, just I think your cleaner will understand where you're coming from if they are a good cleaner and they understand this industry. And really, just sending a voice message can go a long way than just texting or even just a phone call. Hey, this is not working. Like the toilet. I saw hair all over the toilet in the shower. We have to make sure that we clean up the hair and also be firm. Like, don't be afraid to be firm. This is your business. I do this to my cleaners. Like, if I see that there's an issue, I'm firm about it because I worked so hard to get where I am. I'm not gonna let anyone destroy that. So I think there's no way to beat around the bush. Just be firm but kind. And give them one chance. Now, if it continues to happen, then you might have to start looking for another cleaner, and you could respectfully let that cleaner go.
mhm. Great points. Yes. The way you said it, I think, was just perfect. Just straightforward and simple to the point. Say it in a kind tone
Mhm.
because, maybe one at one property, maybe there is normally lint on that on that blanket. Maybe that's the way it's made or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that that's an excellent way to go about it.
Mhm.
So, is there anything else that you'd like to share with owners or managers about having a really clean and beautiful vacation rental and how to work really well with their cleaners?
I think we kind of went over everything. Just, again, treat your cleaners like if it's a partnership. Um, find a small business versus a big company because you want to make sure that these people are paying attention to your property and the details that you have listed. And just be kind and just, I guess, just remember that we're all in this together. If you find a good partnership with a cleaner, you won't have to battle the stress. It's very stressful, this business. It could be very stressful between guests and things getting ruined, property getting ruined. It could be very stressful. But if you find someone to just make sure, I think if you have to babysit a cleaner, then that's making your job harder. You want to make your job as a host so that way you can focus on your marketing, on your guest, on your messaging. Like, you want to be able to focus on that, but you need to be able to find someone that can handle your cleaning and handle your property so you don't have to do that part of it. If you are still finding yourself cleaning behind your cleaner and stressing about things behind your cleaner, then you need to find the right one. And you can make this business could be better for you if you find the right person. So, and don't give up. Like I always see posts where it's like, ah, what is the secret to finding the best cleaner? Like, how do you guys, I keep firing cleaners. Like, there's someone out there, but you just have to find the right person. I encourage you to meet with the person in person, like if you can. And even if you have to fly in for a weekend and you try to like go through a few cleaners and meet with them in person. You can't hide vibes. Like you can't hide someone's like I don't want to say energy, but you can't you can't fake when you're in person with someone meeting face to face. I feel like it's so hard. People can message you all day and pretend that there's someone that they're not, but I think meeting them in person and really just walking them through your property can really just taking that time to do that. And once it's all set up, it's almost going to be like set it and forget it. Like my owners, my hosts or property managers, we don't really talk. I mean, unless they're my friend. Like I have some of them that we have become close and we talk all the time, right? But I'm saying like they don't have to babysit me. They send me their calendar and we show up and that's it. So if you are always stressing that, hey, I wonder if my cleaner's going to show up, or you have to always be on top of your cleaner, I encourage you to find, and I don't like to take business from anyone or anything. I'm not saying to like let go of your cleaner. I'm saying look for that person that is going to take that stress away from you and that you don't have to babysit, that that they 100% have your property and your back 100%, and that they're going to show up. They're going to show up, they're going to get it done, and you don't have to worry about it. Like I think that is the key in short-term rentals is finding a good cleaner that you don't have to babysit. And they're out there. Don't lose hope. They're out there.
Oh, I love that. Yes, don't lose hope. They are out there and expect them to have your back. And then you, as an owner, have their back too.
Right. Yes.
Yes, yeah, I love that. I totally agree. I can tell you're passionate about what you do, and you're just really, I can tell you have really excellent high standards. So it's great to hear this really valuable information, so many insights. So thank you. I really
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you again for having me on.
Sure. And if any listeners have some specific questions for you, is there a way they could get in touch with you just to ask a quick question?
Yeah, definitely. You can contact me on Facebook. I'm always available. You could even list my email. I'm on social media, Instagram. But you can find me. You'll find me if you want to find me.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day there.
You too. Thank you
And
so much.
thanks. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. I look forward to talking again next time. Thank you for joining in on Step Up Your STR. Please take just 30 seconds to like, review, and subscribe. It's a simple thing that fuels our mission to empower more STR owners and managers for higher success. I look forward to talking again next time.